The bell rings for class to start. I unzipped my backpack and pulled out my history book just in time for Mr. Williams' class. But then I heard something strange. It sounded like someone clearing their throat, but it wasn't coming from anywhere near me. I looked around and saw a couple of kids snickering by the door. I narrowed my eyes at them. They must be joking, right? So why are they looking towards my bag? I shrugged off what could have been a very scary moment and opened up my history book. But then that sound came again. Whatever it was getting louder. As Mr. Williams started the class, the noises grew even louder. At first, it was just little grunts and groans, but then it became heavy footsteps. The thing was getting closer. I couldn't take my eyes off my bag, which had started moving all on its own. The zipper was opening and closing as if whatever was inside was trying to free itself. Then it started crawling on the floor towards the door. I got so scared I dropped my history book and everyone else in class turned to look at my bag. With every second that passed, the bag crawled further and further away. I knew I had to do something before it got away completely. As it reached the door, I jumped out of my seat and shouted, "Hey, get back here," and chased after it. Everyone in the class was watching me with smirks on their faces. I could hear them snickering as I ran through the hallway. At the end of the hall, there was a big staircase leading to the second floor. I could see my backpack on the other side, but it was too far away for me to reach. I sprinted down the stairs and took the lead, thinking I would be able to grab it before it disappeared. But when I got to the bottom of the stairs, my backpack had somehow gotten even further away. It was almost at the end of the second floor hallway. I turned to go back upstairs, but one of my classmates stopped me. "What do you think you're doing?" she asked with a smile. "My backpack is escaping," I said breathlessly. She laughed. "Oh, I get it now. You told us that yesterday. You were saying you were gonna make a run for it when Mr. Williams was looking." "No, I wasn't. I lied." I really didn't want her to know that I planned to escape because I wasn't sure how I'd be able to convince her that it wasn't a joke if my bag was just sitting there on the floor. "You know, this is pretty funny," she said. "Let's keep going." Before I could respond, she was already running down the stairs and towards the end of the second floor hallway. I wanted to scream at her to stop, but no words came out of my mouth. I tried to call out to her, but my voice wouldn't cooperate. She was just too fast. I watched helplessly as she disappeared around the corner. And that's when I knew I had to find another way to catch my backpack. I sprinted back upstairs, desperate to find an alternate route to the second floor hallway. As I raced past Mr. Williams' classroom, I saw my history book lying on the floor where I dropped it. It wasn't much, but it gave me an idea. I grabbed the book and made a mad dash for the roof. As I climbed the stairs to the roof, I could hear my backpack skittering away from me. I had to hurry up. My backpack had a whole head start on me, and I didn't want it to get too far away. As I reached the top of the stairs, I turned to see the roof access door just a few feet away. It wasn't locked, so I pushed it open and stepped onto the roof. The wind whipped through my hair as I scanned the area for my backpack. It was nowhere in sight. Then I saw it. It was on the other side of the roof, near the chimney. I started running in that direction, dodging equipment and barrels along the way. I could hear my backpack shuffling away from me, but I refused to give up. As I approached the chimney, I noticed a small gap between it and the roof access door. I wasn't sure if I could fit through it, but I had to try. I squeezed my body into the narrow space, and it was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. I felt my way forward, and my fingers brushed against something soft. I reached out and grabbed onto it. It was my backpack. With a surge of adrenaline, I pulled myself through the gap. On the other side, I collapsed onto the roof, my body aching from the exertion. But I was relieved to have my backpack back. I unzipped it and pulled out my history book. I was late for class, but at least I had my stuff back. As I headed back to class, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. I had outwitted my backpack, and I had done it without anyone's help. Well, except for the classmate who stayed behind to watch me fail. I stopped in my tracks and turned to face her. "You should have let me catch my backpack," I said angrily. She raised an eyebrow. "What are you talking about?" she asked innocently. "You know exactly what I'm talking about," I retorted. "Why did you tell everyone that I was trying to escape?" she asked. "I wasn't trying to escape. I lied." "Then, why did you run away from me when I called you?" she asked. "Because I was afraid you'd stop me from catching my backpack," I said. She shook her head. "You don't understand," she said. "It wasn't my fault. The backpack has a mind of its own. It made me run." I stared at her in disbelief. "That's not possible," I said. "Of course it is," she insisted. "Just ask anyone." She pointed to a group of students who were walking towards us. "Hey guys," she called out, "come here for a sec. I want you to meet my friend. He thinks his backpack isn't trying to escape." One of the boys laughed. "Dude, your backpack literally tried to kill us all. Do you have any idea how many people it ran over on its way to the roof? I think we need to have a talk about personal responsibility," he said, shaking his head. At that moment, I realized I was in trouble. My backpack had caused a lot of damage, and I was in danger of getting suspended. But I wasn't going to let these kids walk all over me. I stood up straight and said, "This isn't over. Just wait till Mr. Williams finds out what you did." They all laughed and walked away. I was left standing there feeling humiliated. I had lost. But I wasn't giving up. I knew Mr. Williams would want to hear my side of the story. So I went straight to his classroom. He listened patiently as I told him about my backpack's escape attempt. At first, he didn't believe me. He thought I was making it up to get out of doing my homework. But when I showed him the damage my backpack had caused, he finally believed me. He was furious. "How could you let your backpack run loose in the school?" he shouted. "It could have hurt someone badly." I explained that it wasn't my fault. The backpack had a mind of its own. But he wasn't buying it. "Don't try to blame your backpack for your own mistakes," he said sternly. "You're responsible for your actions, whether you like it or not." I hung my head in shame. He was right. I shouldn't have let my backpack run loose. But I never thought it would try to escape on its own. "I'm sorry, Mr. Williams," I said. "I won't let it happen again." He nodded, satisfied with my apology. "I hope not," he said, "because if you get suspended, you can forget about that A+ you're hoping for in my class." I gulped. He was right. I couldn't afford to get suspended. I thanked him for understanding and ran out of his classroom. I needed to get to work on my history project. I had a lot of research to do, and I didn't want my backpack escaping again. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Was my backpack really trying to escape? Or was it something else?